let me ask you to get a little bit specific here. You've given a really good idea of your basic approach and your basic philosophy towards government. Let's say that you get elected in November. In January, you become a member of Congress. What specific policy goals will you work to implement?
Reduce spending, reduce tax rate to the businesses are the two main things, and that will reducing the spending will start just turning consumer confidence. People will just say, okay, they finally stopped the madness. We need to take a scalpel to our expenses and do a across-the-board cut. After we stop the stimulus and the bailouts and all that, we need to go into each and every department and cut out the duplicity. For example, in the state of California, I know this isn't a national issue, but the state of California education budget, 40% of the state's education budget is spent in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. I mean, no wonder our education is at such a loss.
Yeah, isn't doing much good for the kids in the classrooms out in Riverside, now is it?
No, it's not. It's absurd. And I'm sure the same waste is taking place in Washington, D.C.
Jeff, you've got a question from Jim in Monterey.
Okay.
Jim, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Charlie, and hi, Jeff. Jeff, I met you over in San Juan Bautista, I think, at a fundraiser at the VFW some months ago.
Uh-huh.
And enjoyed talking with you very much. And I have a question for you. Is it true that Congressman Farr has the United Nations flag displayed outside of his office?
Not any longer. But he did at one point. That's the rumor I heard, that at one point he did. But I think he got wise and understood that wasn't going to help him out any.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I also attended one of the town hall meetings in Salinas where he eschewed the opportunity to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag until he was prompted by someone in the audience. So it makes me doubt very much if he has the best interest of this country at heart. And I want to wish you all the luck in the world.
Well, thank you.
Your race.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for the call, Jim. Appreciate hearing from you. Well, Jeff, I tell you what, I'm so glad that you gave us a buzz today. You were about 5 minutes behind us, so I'll tell you what, I'll try to pick up a little with you on the other end of the break. But okay. Right now it is 5:30, and we have things we have to do here at the radio station. For example, Dave Michaels has traffic information we have to pass along to our listeners. Thomas Hughes has KSCO headlines, and then the happy hour will return. It's a Friday edition of the program. KSCO, here's Dave. By Jeff Taylor. Jeff just heard one of your ads. It's a good ad. Congratulations on it.
Yeah, thank you very much. It sounded very nice.
Had one final question to ask you about. As a matter of fact, my friend Jim sitting here with me brought it up. He mentioned that particularly in the Santa Cruz County part of the district, you're going to run into a lot of people on the left who, when you bring up your message of, well, we want to reduce government spending, they're going to be saying to you, oh my God, you want to throw Granny out in the snow if we had snow here, and like that. When you run into that, what's your response?
That's a tough one, but I'm not a heartless individual.
No, I didn't mean to imply that you were. This is one of the things that gripes me is people on the left attempt to say, well, you're just inhuman. No, we're not. We're just establishing different priorities for government.
Right. Yes, and I feel that when I say there's a lot of spending that we can cut out. I believe there's probably a good 20 to 25% of spending that's duplicity, that's just way too much, or too many different departments working on the same thing. There is fraud, there's corruption, so on and so forth. And I believe that if we privatize certain things, we can actually get the cost of implementing and providing services at a much lower rate.
You mean you actually want to defund Acorn?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. You really are a very mean man.
I know. But let me share one statistic with you that you don't find this every day. The federal government, it costs 75 cents of every dollar in administrative costs. So for every dollar spent, or every tax dollar taken in, you only get a 25% return as a taxpayer on your investment to services rendered to people that need them.
And the rest of it is going to people who are doing well by doing good.
They're doing very well, yeah. And that's the kind of waste we need to cut out.
Well, I tell you what, why don't you take an opportunity here to communicate with people, tell them where your website is and like that, so that if they want to learn more about Jeff Taylor,